Welcome everybody to the second edition of the Lowdown on Ridertown for 2018 with the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders, 98.1 KHAK, 94.1 KRNA, and of course the Union Station. I want to thank the Union Station again for having us in this great space. It's actually the building behind the main Union Station in Cedar Rapids. It's where we have the show each and every week. For anyone who might be listening to this at a later date online who hasn't been out to one of these yet, we switched it up this year once again to remind everyone the show is 5:30 to 6. And it's on Tuesday nights instead of Wednesdays. Wednesdays were the last 3 or 4 years that we've done it, but we switched up the time, make it a little more convenient for you guys to come on out maybe right after you get off of work. And you don't have to worry about dinner if we know one thing for sure about the Union Station. The pizza is top-notch. That's coming from a native Cedar Rapidian, so you know it's good pizza. And, of course, some specials during the broadcast as well. The show itself is half an hour, but, you know, we make it kind of a community event. I know people show up around 5 o'clock or so, and people stick around afterwards as well. Now, as I told you guys last week, we're going to carry on this idea of theming each show. I get a little information ahead of time, and then I use my creativity and I come up with something. What are we going to title these shows so we can theme it, base some of the questions off of that? So tonight's show I'm calling Michigan Men. You'll figure that out. So get into this. You know, last year, Coach, you know, we had that famous Jersey Shore. Everyone remembers that. That was
top show.
That was a top show. Who knows? It might be our best ever. I don't want to be too biased about that. It might be. And then we had a Minnesota. We had a couple Minnesota shows, but I don't think we ever really covered Michigan full on. So we're going to do that today with the guys that I have up on stage. I'm joined with head coach Mark Carlson, Dalton Messina, and Nick Granowitz this week. We're going to get into talking to them in just a few minutes. I want to remind everyone that you can register for a team autographed jersey at the box in the back. We're going to be doing that each and every week. We'll give that jersey away at the final show in the first or second week in April. And the more times you come and sign up, the better chances you have to win. So if you come to all 10 shows in total, you have a better chance to win. So think about that. Hopefully sign up if you haven't already in the back. The audio from the first show that we did last week is up right now. I think the Riders just shared it the other day on their Facebook page. It's also up on the KRNA YouTube page, and I think the KHAK one as well. What I'll probably do from now on is about every 3 or 4 shows, I'll just make a post on krna.com and probably khak.com as well. Just post the videos of like the last 3 or 4 so you guys kind of have an archive. We'll do it that way, and I'm sure the Riders will share the videos each and every week. So we'll get into the actual show right now, and Coach, I'll start with you. We'll talk a little hockey action. 2 tough losses at home, but then you guys wrapped up the weekend pretty nice, solid OT win in Des Moines. Your thoughts on this past weekend's action?
Yeah, I thought the game in Des Moines on Sunday, Cooper, I thought was probably one of our best efforts of the year, and had a lot of guys going, and got a real good performance in the net from Yuri on Sunday there. So, and it was great playing overtime to win it. So we felt good about that. Now we've already worked on building on that and getting ready for our game here on Friday.
Now, guys, I'll get right into player bios, and Nick, I'll start on your end if you can kind of give us an idea of where you're from and then how you wound up here with the Rough Riders.
I'm from Macomb, Michigan, and started this year through, I was in the North American League for the Topeka Roadrunners, and then after a couple months, Coach Carlson gave me a call, and it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up, so I made my way here.
And Dalton, how about your journey here with the Rough Riders? Where are you from and how you got here?
I'm from Macomb, Michigan also, and I played for the Oakland Junior Grizzlies my last year of U18 with Nick here, and then I was drafted by Fargo, and Fargo traded me to Cedar Rapids, and here I am.
Okay, so you guys are both from the same town in Michigan. How long have you guys known each other collectively?
I don't even know that answer.
Dalton, do you have an idea?
No idea.
But childhood friends, like you guys have known each other, competed against each other for quite a while?
Yeah.
Quite a while, yeah.
All right, now I think, Coach, you're the one who provided this trivia. We'll see if these guys know or maybe anyone else in the audience knows. The other former Rough Rider who is from Macomb, Michigan, I think there is one, right?
Yeah.
Does anyone know out in the audience? Dalton, you know?
He's my neighbor, actually.
Wow. This show's going to get deep. We're taking different routes. Okay, Dalton, I'm going to let you answer since you're up here on stage.
Mitch Maloney.
All right, Mitch Maloney. So a fellow former rider. Round of applause for that. Macomb. Coach, I have to ask you, is that the town that's most represented on the Rough Riders throughout your whole time here?
I mean, I gotta think it. I think it has to be. I mean, I gotta think so. Yeah, there's three guys, so they might have the lead.
Now, Dalton, the interesting thing that I picked up on, I think I read an article that you kind of had a hand in maybe bringing Nick to the Riders. Maybe you put a little bug in his ear, maybe.
Yeah, we just, I mean, we talk, pretty much every day. Well, obviously now, but before we were talking pretty much every day, and I knew he was doing well, and I was just joking around with him. We had a real injury, depleted lineup. I was like, what would you do? Like, you got to be getting calls from USHL teams. Like, if our coach gave you a call, what would you do? And he's like, I'd come. And, obviously once coach called me and let me know that he gave him a call, I was, just trying to get him here.
And I heard it was kind of like a video game recruiting session. That's the story anyway. You guys were gaming while it happened? Is that true? Or embellished?
Yeah, you're not lying.
Yeah. Now, Coach, I know you were having a few apprehensive moments about video games, but it looked like it turned out in your favor that time. That's one of the times video games maybe helped the team. Got a recruitment.
We talked about video games last week, right?
Yeah, we talked about those, yeah.
Yeah, played in the evening and afternoon only, yeah. Mm-hmm. So we did.
Did you know about Dalton's role in the recruitment of Nick?
Well, I know it was only they were playing video games at like 8, 9 p.m.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's the latest.
That's the late, yeah.
That they ever play them.
Yeah.
But they did tell me that after we spoke I don't know if you know, but he's trying to act like he was involved in the recruiting process now. So his nickname is Coach D.
Okay.
So recruiter, coach, all kinds of different things.
Multi-talented.
Yeah, well, they play on the same line, and he tries to take face-offs and doesn't let Nick take them. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on.
Yeah, so if I noticed, though, when I looked on the website today that, like, a recruiter wasn't in your title, Dalton. It wasn't in there. It just listed your position.
Maybe it should be.
Yeah, Coach. Coach, you come to the website, yeah. Had it on there. Coach, I wonder if you could take a couple moments and talk about both of these guys as far as what they bring to the team and just a little knowledge of why you brought them on in the first place.
Yeah, well, we, our organization, we had a chance to watch them both play for, in today's world with the young guys here, what you call it, is it OJG, right? Yeah. If you're real into it. They both play for OJG.
Okay.
And so we knew about both of them from there, and then Dalton we made the deal for last year, and then we had known Nick from there, and then he was in Topeka and did really well, especially this year, and then we started having conversations. With Nick, and we were able to, fortunate to get him here, and so it's been real good having both of them.
Now, Nick, you're a Michigan guy, and a round of applause for this. I know just the other day you committed to play your college hockey at Michigan. It's pretty exciting.
Thank you.
So obviously we know kind of the hometown connection, but what else went into your decision to play for the Wolverines?
I guess just growing up as a kid, always going down to the GLI at the Joe Louis Arena where the Red Wings used to play. Just seeing Michigan and Michigan State, always go at it, and kind of a dream to play for one of those teams growing up, and I got the opportunity to do it, so I took it. And
No, Coach, Michigan just adds to this list, but of the players you've had that have committed to some collegiate programs, we have some pretty smart schools on that list, so some pretty smart guys on this team, both on and off the ice. What do you think when you have a caliber of player that's not only great on the ice, but also hits the books and gets these scholarships to some prestigious schools, Michigan, the Ivy League schools that some of these guys have gone to?
Yeah, no, I think it's great, and I mention to them all the time that most of them are smarter than me, so, and then at times we review my SAT scores and how many times I took them, and so, a whole bunch of these schools I wouldn't be getting into, that's for sure, so it's good for the guys.
Well, now, Dalton, you made some history last year. I think you were the first player elevated to an assistant captain status during the season. It wasn't because of an injury or any other fluke reason, but because of the impact you've had on the team. What did that mean to you when that happened last year?
Yeah, it meant the world to me, honestly. We had a tough year, and it was, I was just trying to do my best to lead the guys, and any way that I knew how to, and I guess he recognized something in me, and he made me, he gave me the letter, and I was just fortunate, and it was just a great experience for me and a dream come true.
And Coach, I know that last year, it was a lot of peaks and valleys, but what did you see in Dalton where you make that decision that pretty unprecedented, at least for the Riders?
Well, I mean, one of the real keys was, some of the guys will laugh about it, was, Dalton's a guy that can, you can coach pretty hard, not have to worry about it, and, we have an open door policy with our, our coaches and our players, and we had a pretty good discussion one day, that was, I think it was in the office, in the hallway, and out near the exam door, all three places, all in succession. But we both learned a lot from it, and that just showed me a lot that that he had that kind of mental toughness and was able to to have that discussion, and we were able to move forward from there. And I just felt he worked real hard throughout the course of the year and did a nice job, and thought he was very deserving.
Now, guys, obviously we concentrate on hockey, but we also want to get a glimpse of your lives off the ice. What's home life like? Nick, I'll start on your end. Who do you live with, and what's it been like?
Home life back in Michigan?
Well, let's do a little bit of both. Let's do Michigan, but then let's talk about who you live with here in Cedar Rapids, too.
Okay. I live with the Wagners, Tyler Wagner and Peggy Wagner, and it's awesome. We have, like, the whole basement to ourselves. We got our gaming set up down there. And we have a lot of fun at dinner and stuff, too. So it's a great spot, great people, very nice, and best billets I've had so far. So
now we're going to get fully into Michigan home life here in a few minutes, too. But Dalton, how about who you live with and what's it been like here in Cedar Rapids?
I live with the Wagners also, and, they've just made, last year I obviously got traded, and they made the transition, easier than I could have ever imagined, and they're just, such incredible billets, and, they truly are amazing. They just make the experience, junior hockey, being in Cedar Rapids, just so much better. And
now, as guys, as being from Michigan, being from the same town, kind of knowing each other before you got here with the Riders, what's it been like to kind of reconnect now that you guys are on the same team and living together as roommates? I'll ask both of you collectively.
I would say it's great. We have a lot of fun, and for me coming here, it made it a lot easier knowing him, and he helped me meet a lot of the other guys, so it was easier coming into the team knowing Dalton. So,
how about for you, Dalton?
Clearly I wanted him here. I wouldn't, recruited him.
Yeah, the recruitment, yeah. Thanks for recruitment. Yeah, there you go.
But no, it's. I didn't have a roommate at the time, and it just, it made everything a lot more fun at the rink, at home, having one of my close buddies there, and obviously, the other guys on the team I'm close with too, but it's a little bit different from your hometown. So it's, it's been nothing but, it's been great.
Now, like I mentioned a few times, I usually get a little intel before the shows, and usually they're like bulleted lists that I get maybe from the housing families, for instance. And so in this instance, you guys don't shoot the messenger on this one, but one quote that kind of stuck out to me as I was reading down the list. It said, they laugh all the time downstairs like little girls. That's quote unquote verbatim. That's how I'm reading it. You guys, is that down in the gaming room? Is that the video games? What's going on down there, guys?
It can happen wherever, honestly. I don't know. He just starts laughing, and I start laughing, and we just can't stop sometimes. So,
Dalton, is that pretty accurate? Any other insight you want to give on that?
Sometimes we'll get going with some of the guys from home or some of the guys from the team, and it just kind of just nonstop and feed off each other a little bit.
Now, Dalton, I also heard, this is some more insider information, that you can't stand spiders. Is that true?
Yeah.
Now, how did someone find this out? Did you tell him, or did you have a crazy incident?
Well, my billet mom, I think there was one time, I don't know exactly what happened, but there was one downstairs, and I think I kind of freaked out, and then I know she sprays for him, so I went right upstairs and asked, hey, can you spray for him again?
Coach, did you know about this spider fear?
I didn't know about the spider thing, but it just occurred to me as you were talking, Coop, that Dalton is also the assistant to the assistant to the assistant housing coordinator.
Okay.
Because as soon as we acquired Nick, that same evening I got a call from the assistant to the assistant to the assistant saying, Coach, it would work out. I know he's not here yet and everything, and the trade just happened and stuff, but it would really work out really nicely, and here's a whole list of reasons of why he should live with me and whatnot. So he's also involved in that.
Okay, so Dawn, I have to ask then, obviously, I think now we're getting to the state where that's going to be hard to put on the website. We've got a lot of words. I think the word count already exceeded on that one. But did you, obviously, I have to think maybe you had this plan in mind for a while, like, get the recruitment locked in, realize that that's in the books, and then just kind of slide in and say, hey, Coach, you might as well just live together as long as it's going to happen anyway, right?
Yeah.
It seems convenient. Nick, did you know that all of this scheming was going on, like undercover?
No.
You said, okay. The way you said that makes me think that maybe that's not true.
A little bit.
We can keep it off the record, though. As far as we know that Dalton has maybe a little fear of spiders. Nick, any animal or insect fears you want to throw out while we're up here?
I'm not a fan of spiders either.
Not a fan of spiders. So that works out. Coach, spiders, yay, nay?
Yeah, I don't really mind spiders.
Okay. Good to know on the front.
Fine, yeah.
And Nick, as long as we're talking about animals, insects, any along that line, I think I heard that you called Dalton the dog whisperer.
I did.
And why? What is there a story behind that?
Well, the dog Clover back at the house, he's always trying to get her to sit by him, and so I just started calling him dog whisperer because she'd go over there and sit and calm down.
Okay, now Coach, in addition to the recruiter, the assistant to the assistant to the assistant housing coordinator, did you know that dog whisperer was also one of Dalton's skills?
We're learning more and more all the time here.
We really are.
Yeah.
Dalton, is your ability with dogs, is that true? I mean, do you feel like you have like a connection?
I would say so. I have a Great Dane back home, and she's a pretty big dog, and I taught her all these tricks. I taught her how to play dead, roll over, and a big dog like that rolling over I think is kind of funny. So I just I have a way.
Okay, a way with dogs, a way with animals. There you go. That sounds pretty impressive. A way with recruiting, a way with housing coordinating, and a way with dogs. Now, I heard this past summer you guys had maybe slightly terrifying, but then it became funny car story. Situation happened with Nick's car in particular. You remember this? One of you guys want to explain this one?
You got it.
It's your car, man.
All right, Nick, this is your car. You want to tell us this?
So we're going to Faster Horses, and it's like a big country concert deal for 3 days in Michigan there. And on the way, it was like one of those lights that was yellow for like 3 seconds and then turned red really quick, so I had to brake pretty quickly. And then one of the brake lines, I guess, broke, so the brakes weren't really working, and we still had an hour to drive there. So it was 2 hours back, and it was just kind of a scary time.
So how'd you finally, it sounds pretty scary, how'd you finally get the car to stop?
I had to start stopping a long time before the lights coming up and stuff, but it was like back roads, so it wasn't that busy, so we just did our best. Kind of scary and dangerous, but yeah.
Do we have a question from the audience?
Did he make the concert?
Did you guys make the actual festival
Yeah,
concert?
we made it there, and then we made it home safely too, so it was good.
Did you drive the same car back?
Yes, we didn't have an option.
Did the parking brake on said car work?
Nope, we tried that.
So there's zero way to break this thing. Dalton, as being a passenger, what did you feel like this whole, especially that ride home after you guys already knew clearly there was a problem?
We left kind of early in the morning, probably around 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning, something like that. So I kind of just slept the whole way home. I had faith that he could get us home safely.
There you go.
But no, it was just kind of funny. We just started laughing. Like none of us really knew what to do, and we had to get there and get back somehow, or else we'd just be stuck. So
The brakes weren't totally broken, but they just really weren't working.
come on.
Dalton seems to disagree. He seems that they were fully gone.
Yeah, I don't know.
Coach, were you aware of this car story, these brakes?
This is the first I heard about this one.
Okay. Now that you know about it, it's thankful to have these guys back here, right?
Very
Yeah.
much so, yeah.
Now, as we break for a couple, I just want to let you guys know real quick that next week's show, which is January 30th, all fans are welcome to join the players after our show in making Valentines for Vets. This is something we've done at K-Hawk for quite a few years now. This one is sponsored by the Ridertown Booster Club. They're going to get together, make out a lot of Valentines for Vets, and I think the word is afterward, players are going to deliver them up to the studio at K-Hawk. So hopefully you guys can tell a few friends, bring a big crowd out next week, and we'll get together after the show and do that, and then deliver them up to the KHAK studio, so that should be fun. And then 2 road games this weekend for the Riders. They're at Chicago and then up at Waterloo, and so that is a good segue into my speed round that I do every week. I'll start with you guys as players. Favorite thing, I know that you guys probably prefer the home cooking to stay at home during games on the weekend, but your favorite thing about road games. Nick, I'll start on your end.
Peggy usually throws in some beef jerky and gives us a nice little snack, and I just eat all the snacks she gives us.
Dalton, how about you, road games?
Yeah, definitely that for sure, and I'll change it up a little bit. But I just think, after a road win, I think the bus ride back's a whole lot of fun, and just the guys, getting everyone's excited and having fun on the bus is nothing quite like it.
Now, Coach, I probably know your answer. I think you've told me before you kind of take advantage of the rides to get some work done. But your favorite thing about road games, something that sticks out, you kind of utilize them?
Winning the game.
Winning the game. There you go.
Yeah.
Above all.
Yeah.
How about for you guys, and maybe this is already automatic answer too, favorite NHL team, Dalton?
Detroit Red Wings.
Red Wings. Nick, same with you all day. Okay, how about favorite sports team outside of the game of hockey? Nick?
Tough one.
You having one in mind, Dalton?
I'll go with the Lions, Detroit Lions, just because we got a lot of Minnesota guys on the team, and it's fun to bust their chops a little bit.
Yeah. Did you guys give them any grief this past weekend?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That game was pretty nasty, huh? Yeah. Nick, anyone come to mind?
I'm going to say the Detroit Tigers because I'm just a hometown guy.
Yeah, you guys stay loyal to the hometown teams?
Yeah, no matter what.
Coach, I don't know if I've asked you this before. Outside of hockey, you have a favorite pro sports team?
Oh, boy. I'd say I think it's a tie between the Patriots and the Yankees.
All right, those are good choices.
Yeah.
So you're going to be tuned to that Super Bowl for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now, we were talking about spiders and dogs and then housing coordinators and recruiters earlier, but how about favorite animal? Nick, I'll start with you.
Favorite animal is tiger.
Tiger, okay. How about you, Dalton?
I got to go with dogs.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Any particular breed? Or you just dog whisper across the board?
I really like Great Danes. I like big dogs.
Sure. Coach, favorite animal? Something come to mind?
Well, I thought Dalton was going to say frog, but yeah.
Why would that be, Dalton? You want to fill us in on that one?
Coach can take it away here.
Okay, Coach, there you go.
No, I think you should tell it.
I think you tell it better, Coach.
It's a great learning experience.
It was, yeah.
Well, we got to hear about it now.
Well, it was actually, I thought it was a good idea, but ended up being not a very good idea by me. So we give our guys some readings to do from time to time. Mm-hmm. And so I gave them a reading, and so they're all, supposed to go home and read it. And I'm sure that Dalton read all of it, except he missed probably this one paragraph. So I started getting the feeling that maybe the guys didn't read it. So I thought it was a good idea to go around the room and just started asking guys like what animal was talked about in this reading. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember what Dalton's answer was when I got to him. I think he might have said that there was no animals. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, there was this. There was part of the reading was about Kermit the Frog. Okay. And that started our discussion when we decided that. And of course, he probably just missed that one paragraph, sure. Not the whole reading.
No.
So that was how we started our discussion. So I had to have some fun with him on that one. But as far as animal, I'd have to go dog. Yeah.
Okay. Any particular breed in mind?
Yeah, we like the labs.
Yeah.
Yeah, lab. Yeah.
How about since we're dealing with some Detroit area guys here, best restaurant in the Detroit area? If I'm going to Detroit, where do I have to go to? Dalton, I'll start with you.
That's a good question. I'm not really down in the Detroit area all that often, but I know that some of the Coney Islands down there are real famous. And I haven't been there maybe more than once or twice, but that's probably what most people recognize, I guess.
Sure. Nick, how about you? Best restaurant in the area? It doesn't have to be right in Detroit, but just where you hit up when you're back home.
Well, in Detroit, I have to say the Hockey Town restaurant there. That's a good one. And then I'm going to have to agree with Dalton on the Coney Islands. There's a lot of just family restaurants that got some really good food.
Coach, from your travels, any spot if you're around Detroit that you have to hit up?
There is a spot actually right near the airport, and I can't remember I just cannot remember the name of it right now. It's an Italian place. It's awesome.
Now, we were talking a little bit about life back home. What's your favorite thing to do when you go back for the summer or when you have something to do? Nick, I'll start on your end. Favorite hobby, something you do back home?
I like to fish a lot, honestly. So with a lot of my free time, I'll go fishing out with my buddies or anywhere I can, any free time I got.
Dalton, how about you?
Yeah, I'm not crazy about the fishing, but they kind of drag me out there, so I'll do that, and then, just kind of relaxing with the guys and, playing cards. We play a lot of cards.
Yeah,
and euchres. Yeah.
Euchre's a good game to know. That's a mature game. Usually, like the euchre crowd, I find is like anywhere from about 50 to 80. It seems to be like the peak range for euchre players. That's good, though. You guys have got a step ahead.
It's pretty popular in Michigan.
Yeah. As far as now, I assume you guys already kind of gave the hint away, but you spend quite a bit of time when you guys have summers too, or you're back home. You guys see each other quite a bit?
Yeah.
Coach, did you know that they were avid euchre players? Did you know that?
I'm learning a lot tonight.
Do you guys have any games? Do the rest of the players know how to play, or is that just something that's back home in Michigan? You guys teach the other riders?
We haven't played a whole lot of cards. I mean, we've been getting into it more lately, but it's still, we haven't played a whole lot, so no, we really haven't taught anybody anything.
I think I asked the guys last week, but is there a big competition around any game in the locker room now? I know ping pong in the past has been it. Anything else this year?
Not really right now.
Can't really think of anything.
Got to find something. Yeah. How about sorry, Coach, I got to ask though. Favorite video game, Nick? Let's start on your end.
I'm gonna have to say Fortnite because that's been the popular one.
Okay. How about you,
I'll
Dalton?
go with Fortnite too.
Now, do you remember what game you were playing when you tipped them off about the recruiting, or like said, hey, maybe you should think about the riders?
I had to win Fortnite.
Yeah, it was Fortnite, I think, or Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, it could have been Call of Duty.
Coach, you don't have a favorite video game, do you?
I know, but I think they have maybe a team video contest at my house, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Anything, I mean, there had to be some arcade games back on the Jersey Shore. Anything back in your heyday?
When I joke with the guys about video games, I always bring up, some people here would probably remember, like Pac-Man and Asteroids and...
Oh, yeah.
And then, what about Nintendo?
Yeah.
Or Atari even.
Oh, yeah.
Atari. Like those were Atari was classic.
Do you guys have any love for like the old school, the retro throwbacks, like just jumping on an arcade game? Don?
We actually, our boats have quite a few like big arcade games downstairs, and they're a lot of fun. Every once in a while we'll go down and we'll start playing those. I like Nintendo 64 a lot. I grew up with that.
That's retro.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Nick, how about you? Anything you gravitate towards that's like a little old school?
I like playing Pac-Man whenever I can on those machines. So that's how I go.
So we're talking about housing families, and I always have to ask this of any player because I don't want to, don't want to leave anyone out. Favorite meal with the housing family? Dalton, I'll start with you.
I'd just say a steak dinner. They make some pretty good steak, and it's always good.
That's good. Nick, how about you?
I'm gonna have to go with the Cajun Alfredo shrimp pasta that I had that one time when Dalton was gone because he doesn't like seafood.
So, okay, Dalton, so that wouldn't be up your alley because you're not into seafood.
No, I'm not.
Not into seafood. No. And that probably plays into like why you're not really into fishing, right? Kinda.
I mean, they just have fun with it. I'm not that as patient as he is. It's a little bit, you gotta sit there for a while,
And then he couldn't take it off the hook first, and then I had to show him how to do that, and then he's got that down now.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can't expect Dalton to be good at everything. We're learning multiple things that he's got down. Yeah. Coach, are you an avid fisher? Do you like fishing?
I do like fishing. I wish I've got to find time to do it more often, but I do enjoy it.
Dawn, do you have a favorite sport outside of hockey, something you like to do that's off the rink?
Probably, my favorite sport besides hockey was baseball, and then I like to play basketball probably more than anything, yeah.
Now, how about, since you guys have been friends for quite a while and roommates now, favorite thing to do together, favorite hobby thing you got to do if you have some free time? Nick, I'll start on your end.
Okay. We play a lot of video games, but I don't want to say that. I don't know. Dalton, you got anything?
Dalton, you got something in mind that doesn't start with V and end with games?
I'll go back to the cards. We're pretty good. I think we're pretty good euchre players, and especially when we're partners, it's we're tough to beat. So I'll say that.
Coach, I'll give you one thing. I mean, they might still be playing video games, but you definitely have it drilled in their head that maybe they shouldn't be advertising it too much.
Well, see, I'm getting that video cube set up soon.
Yeah, I remember that last week.
We started that business.
So we're coming to the end here, but I want to give you guys final thoughts on this weekend's action. You go in, you have 2 games on the road, and Nick, I'll start on your end. Final thoughts as you head into this weekend's action.
We got Chicago and Waterloo coming up here. I know main focus of our team has been putting 60 minutes together, or 20 minutes at a time, times 3, right, Coach? And then,
that's it.
There you go.
And so we're just looking to go in and get some wins and climb the standings.
Dalton, how about you? Thoughts on this weekend's action?
Yeah, similar to what Nick just said. Obviously the most important thing's been winning games, and we're hoping that we can go on a streak here, get on a little roll, and make a push, obviously, we're right in the thick of it, but make a push for, top seed in the playoffs.
And Coach, I always give the final word to you when it comes to talking about the weekend's action ahead. What are your thoughts as you head into this weekend, 2 road games?
20 times 3 on Friday.
There you go. Short and sweet. Guys, I don't want to leave any stone unturned. Anything I didn't cover tonight that just was burning that needs to be out? This is like the 15 minutes or 30 minutes, if you will, of fame. Anything?
No, got
it covered? Okay. Keeping some things maybe under the belt that we don't want to talk about. I think we covered euchre, we covered recruiting, housing coordinating, fish, spiders. I think we got a lot done tonight. Coach, you agree?
We did. Very, very nice show.
We did. Okay, so it's great. Once again, I want to thank you guys for coming on out. Coach, thank you.
Thanks, Coop.
Thanks, guys, for coming out and making time for the Lowdown on Ridertown. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Guys, want to let you know that next week's show, once again, we're doing the Valentine's for Vets. So after the show, right around 6 o'clock, I know the players are going to get together. I think all the players are going to be here. And then you guys can come on out, too. We're going to make those Valentine's for Vets. It's something that K-Hawk's been doing for years. And then I think the players are going to deliver them up to the studio. So come on out for that. It's a great cause, great thing that we do each and every year. And then, once again, the audio of this podcast that we're doing right now of this show will be up this weekend. I usually post them when I'm in the studio. We'll also be pubbing next week's show and the whole Valentine's for Vets thing. I'm on air K-Hawk this weekend, so we'll be talking about that. I want to thank you guys once again for coming out, the Union Station for having us. We'll see you next Tuesday, January 30th, for another Lowdown on Ridertown, 5:30 start. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks.
You didn't bring up the blaze?
No, I know. We're going to next I got to make it loud. This one was pretty technical.
No, it's still solid.
Still solid, though. We're going to get more colorful as the weeks go on. Thanks for your indulgence. Appreciate it.
Solid blazer.
We're going to get more flamboyant though as the weeks build up. We're going to get a little brighter. As soon as we hit the first signs of spring, then we're going to really start. You could imagine. We're going to get some pastels broken out.